and was second indoors in the 5,000, trying to get her first individual title. If she advances here, she will have 2 opportunities to do it in Austin. This will be an exciting one to see the form of Danny Jones and also how Wayne Kelati approaches this race. Will she go straight to the front, or will she use a big mid-race surge like she did in the 10,000 where she ran away from everybody? And at the front early on, that's Taylor Werner of Arkansas, the SEC 5,000 meter champion. Set her personal best at Peyton Jordan this year of 15:38. She's joined by her teammate, the freshman Lauren Gregory. She's 5th at SECs, and Gregory, only in her first year, championship experience already, though. Indoors, she was 10th in the mile and 7th in the 3K. And we'll get this first lap split. Heat 1 dawdled for 1 lap before J.C. Smith went to the front. We'll see who's going to be the J.C. Smith of this heat. Looks like it's going to be Lauren LaRocco of Portland. So after a 77-second opening lap, LaRocco goes to the front. You look at the last time in there, 15:43. They were on about 15:40 pace for a lot of that race, and things split towards the end. Some, like Ostrander, kept on trucking, but those in the back end really struggled. Prouse and Morley got across under 15:45, so those are the target times to hit. Top 5 do go through automatically. So it's LaRocco in first, pair of Razorbacks, Warner and Gregory. And then on the inside, that's Carmela Cardama Baez, the junior from Oregon, 4th and 5th in the Pac-12 meet in the 5K and the 10K. She set her personal best at the Stanford Invite, 15:38. So if they lock onto that same pace, she'll be able to go right with them. Baez was 4th in both the 5,000 and 10,000 at Pac-12s, but 5th in the 10,000 2 nights ago. So just as was the case with the first heat, a lot of women doubling back here. LaRocco at the front ahead of Wayne Kelati. LaRocco 29th in the 10,000, which was an uncharacteristic finish for her. She was 4th at the NCAA championships in the 10,000 in 2016 and 6th in the 5K. I didn't expect to see her that farther back. A chance to improve on that here tonight. Kelati in second. Gregory and Warner on the inside. Outside there, that looks like Haley Herberg of Oklahoma, the freshman. On the outside there in the white top, that is Herberg. In 6th, it's Bethany Haas. 15:45 personal best. Her sister Megan was 11th in the 10,000, so trying to join her in Austin. Jones there in about 7th or 8th on the rail. Again, just her 3rd race of the year. Herberg and LaRocco shoulder to shoulder at the front. So we'll get a 1,600 meter split when they come around after 200 more meters, and that'll give us an idea of the pace. Definitely appears to be slower. We'll see by how much. You know that Kelati isn't going to wait too long before she goes. Maybe the move comes at 1.5 miles, maybe at 2 miles. But when it does, you will know it. It is not subtle with Wayne Kaladi. Almost at the 1,600-meter split, and here we are. And 5:08 pace, which is slower than the first heat, who went through at about 5 flat. Now again, if they hold this and then kick hard off of it, potentially they could get 7 in, but it's gonna be tough. No clear leader here. No woman really wants to take it on the same way that J.C. Smith did in the first heat. LaRocco's there, but not really pushing the pace, and maybe it'll be the freshman Herberg who wants to get it going. She's run 16 flat. So this is going to be interesting. Kaladi right on her shoulder, and you have to think as Kaladi goes, so goes the pack. When she moves, everybody will realize the race is on, and someone like Jones will try to cover that move. And come through 2,000 meters here, 6:27. Serafini in the black for Utah is up there, ran the 1,500 earlier. And then on the rail, that looks like Abby McNulty of Stanford, who was 7th in the 10K, so she's already in the national championships. So Herberg, Kaladi, Gregory, Werner, Jones, Cardama, Baez, Haas, McNulty, Feeney. That's the front end of this race. They hit 7 to go. Waiting on that Kaladi move. When will it come? I mean, she ran with the group in the 10,000 for a good chunk of that race and then put 25 seconds on the field in the last couple miles. That's Aubrey Roberts of Northwestern moving up on the outside with the white and purple. Roberts 14th last year. Had a good cross-country season for the Wildcats. She's run 15:32. She did that indoors in Boston with that fast meet in December. And Roberts is tucked in there in about 10th. Jones on the rail, running smart, much in the way that Ostrander did. Never left the rail the entire way, really. Herberg plugging away at the front. Looks like only 5 will go through here. Nothing's guaranteed, but that's just the way it looks. Kaladi solid there in second. Should be good news for New Mexico if it's slow and Kaladi advances, because then they could get 3 in with Cohen and Prowse. Kurgat, surprisingly, not in the mix. Finished 8th in the first heat. So 9:02. Next time they come around, it'll be 3,200 meters.
Angie Nickerson of Southern Utah has just lit up in the pack. What a fantastic career she has had for the Thunderbirds. 7-time Big Sky champion.
Herberg, Kaladi, Gregory, and Warner, the top 4. Nickerson of Southern Utah is moving up. She's run 15:46. And Kaladi inching to the front, not willing to go yet. 5 to go. Wayne Kaladi, I don't know if she knows it, but she's dictating the terms of this race. Jones is the cross-country champion, but she's only run 2 other races this year. I think her plan is just to wait as long as she can and qualify with the least amount of effort here. But Kaladi, everybody knows what she's capable of. So this will be 3,200 meters coming up. And heat 1 was just over 10 minutes. And this group's at 10:20.
3,200 meters, 10:20. That's like a train run for Kalani right now.
So they'd have to go
You should expect her at some
about a
point
5:23
to take the shot
for the last 1,800 meters.
unless she's feeling a little heat from the 10K.
Fair to say we're only going to get 5 from this heat, and there are a lot of candidates in that group. I think we're going to see Kaladi move any moment here. I don't think she wants to risk anything. There's too many women in there and too small of a space. So Kaladi now at the front, 11 minutes on the clock. 4 laps to go. Get a look here at the rest of that field. Werner in second. And this will be a test for everybody here, as now the race is on and Wayne Kaladi goes to the front and everybody tries to follow. So Werner in second, Cardama Baez in third, Gregory in fourth, Haas in fifth. And Kaladi in the span of 200 puts about 2 seconds on the field. Remember, she was 11 flat with 4 to go. We'll get a check of the lap split. Danny Jones moving up into fifth. Only 5 will go through from this heat. Here's Kaladi. A lap ago, she was right with this pack. So 11 minutes was the time on the clock, and she just dropped about a 68 there. Werner in second. And then about 9 others trailing. Going to be very competitive for that final spot. Cardama Baez in third is left leading here. And Werner in no man's land. You see a runner on the track there. That's Jenny Bargar Petrus on the track. There's Kaladi as the lead grows. If you think you've seen this before, you have. If you were tuning in 2 nights ago during the 10,000, the race is shorter. The result is the same. It's Wayne Kaladi pouring it on. Werner in second, and then it's Haas, Cardama Baez, and Jones. Also Aubrey Roberts in that group, along with Gregory. So a 2:19 last 800 for Kaladi with 2 to go. Very competitive here for those final 2 spots. Kaladi right now serving notice to the rest of the NCAA, and that's that chase pack. So that's Nickerson in the white, McNulty now at the front in the black, and then it's Haas, Jones, and Cardama Baez. Very competitive race. Only 3 spots from that group. If it's the Danny Jones we're used to seeing, she should be fine to kick over the last 400, but just a lot of questions because she's only raced a couple times this spring. Here comes Kaladi down the home stretch. She's going to take the bell here. 14:29 on the clock. Werner in second. She still looks good. She's had to do a lot of running by herself. And then McNulty, Haas, and Jones, 3, 4, 5. But 2 other women could get in there with Cardama Baez and Nickerson. At the front, there's no doubt who's going to win this race. It's going to be Wayne Kaladi, who's going to drop another insane final mile split. She was at 11 minutes with 4 to go. Here's the race for the final qualifying spots. Danny Jones moves up on the outside, goes past Haas and McNulty. Nickerson and Cardama Baez fighting, trying to get a spot in this 5,000. Danny Jones, with 200 to go, is in third. Remember the last time in, 15:43. And there's Nickerson now moving up in front of McNulty. So here's Wayne Kaladi, who's going to run to another dominant victory here. The pain on her face. Wayne Kaladi is going to win this 5,000, 15:40. That's about a 4:40 last mile. Taylor Werner comes across for second. Then it's Danny Jones, Haas, and Nickerson. And you see the time there. Wayne Kaladi, unofficially, I had 4:39 for that last mile. Werner, 15:44. Danny Jones runs the fastest 5,000 of her life. She's only run, well, now 3 of them. Haas joins her sister in Austin with a 15:47. Nickerson, 15:48. McNulty's 15:49 won't be enough. So the 2 qualifiers will come out of the first heat with Morley and Prowse.